Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining this What's New Cartoon 3D webinar. Today I will go through key changes in the release 13.1. I will demonstrate how to use new functionality and when it may be useful to you. This webinar covers major new features and changes. However, there are many more, and for this reason I encourage you to check them out on our website under a release notes section. We will have a questions and answer session in the very end, but you may post your questions at any time via the Q&A window of Microsoft Teams. So let's start. Firstly, we'll look at the new features and changes to do with general authoring. Our formula editor is the first point on our list. So that's a new user interface available in RapidManual for DITA and some of the S1000D specifications that allows you to create complex expressions and formulas using the provided user interface, or if you have a string in LaTeX, then you can copy and paste it into RapidAuthor and then use it. Let's have a look here with the live example. That's RapidManual, one of the S1000D specifications. I already have a formula here, which I will edit. That's the user interface. Let's just add something here, multiplied by 5. You see, the formula is represented as an image. If we enter the text view, that's the symbol element in S1000D, but that's an illustration actually. Now let's insert a new one here, and this time I will use a formula in LaTeX syntax. You need to pass it in a separate window here, like so. So it is now converted into actual human readable string. And that's our formula here. Next, you will find RapidAuthor Viewer included in the package. This is a new small and easy application that allows you to view offline HTML5 or plugin-free publications without a need to resort to various workarounds, such as those listed here in the bottom of this slide. As you may know, there are some constraints that that had to be mitigated, and this RapidAuthor Viewer allows you to view publications very easily without a need to do quite complex operations. So that's the application. It's just blank. Let's just publish some project and then view it using the RapidAuthor Viewer. Couple of moments. Okay. We're just going to open that publication. It's actually XML file that we're opening, not the HTML file. And here we see the regular type of output, exactly the same kind of thing that you will also see in the web browser. All the interactivity, it is all here. Now, to iterate, previously you had to set certain settings or use some tools such as local web server to be able to access plugin-free publication from local file system. Just as an example, if I try to open this this publication locally, just like this, it won't load. And this is the reason why we added this new application. It is part of the RapidAuthor, but you can also download it separately from Cartoon 3D website, you or your end users. In this release, we added several new items in Object Gallery. One of them is Callout XML, very similar to a regular callout item. What it does, it allows you to reuse certain specific text from your document. If you subsequently update that text in the document editor, the content of the callout will also get updated at the same time. A short demo of this. That's the actual object sitting here in the object gallery. In this demo, I already have this callout XML. This is the one here. If I open it for editing, this is the user interface. And now this is the text element which is being used as a source for this callout. Now let's update something here, make some change, and save document editor. This is the updated callout XML. Let's move on. Next, a new item, also Excel line. If you're familiar with explosion wizard that quite often used in Rapid Catalog, for example, sometimes the auto-generated so-called thrust lines or axial lines are not sufficient, or they're not following a specific path that you want. With this item, you can actually manually draw those axial lines yourself. Let's have a look here. By the way, all the object gallery items, they're universally applicable to all RapidAuthor applications. In this case, I'm demonstrating you in Rapid Illustrator, but this equally works for RapidManual and Rapid Catalog. So we have auto-generated exploded view here. Let's suppose I want to create manual explosion and add those axial lines manually. Axial line, point 1, point 2, and I can also add several intermediate points between those two and position them as I like. So pick attaches the first end to a specific face of an object. And that's the other one, the other end. Okay, now they are attached. You see the axial line is sitting here in my item tree. If I move the object, the axial line will also move along. And as I said, you can add a number of intermediate axial lines as well, like this. This item behaves just like your regular thrust line or axial line. So in 2D preview, you get identical looking thrust lines. Okay, next, that's not a new object, but rather an enhancement of the existing one. For hose spline, we added a feature that allows you to create an animation of some fluid or gas. Very useful in case you need to show a direction of flow. Now let's review this feature on a different project. Here, this tube was created with the host spline, actually, a regular host spline object from our object gallery. Now, first, I will just set this hose as semi-transparent like this, and then open it for editing, like so. See, the second tab allows us to create those animations. So two types of objects, bubbles and arrows, number of objects are shown at any given time, the relative size, animation in seconds, how long it takes for an object to transit from starting to end point, color, and also ability to invert direction of those objects. Also quite straightforward, but very useful. And lastly, but it can be used with this new object as well. So a good opportunity to show two features at the same time. We have a new action in RapidManual and Rapid Learning called set object parameter value to. It applies specifically to parametric items from object gallery. As you may know, those parametric items, they have certain settings or parameters that you can set, just like I did right now with the host spline. So this section allows you to change parameters of those gallery items at a specific step of your procedure, for example. Whereas in the past, you could only set those parameters once and you couldn't change them after. So let's continue with this project. Suppose that I want to invert the direction of these arrows after this action. You see, we already have one simple action, inspect, which just highlights this radiator. Suppose after this finishes, I want for arrows to go in the opposite direction. So I pick the hose, procedure, new action, and that's a new action here. Set object parameter value to. Here I can select one of the predefined parameters of the item, of the object gallery item. So let's say invert flow, a value of 1. Okay, now let's check this. So initially it goes in this direction. After the first action finishes, the opposite direction. Likewise, you can use this not just with host spline, but with any parametric object that we have. For example, with light sources, you can change the intensity, for example, and so on. Now, some other features also quite useful to some users. In RapidManual specifically, and with plugin-free publications, there is a feature now that allows you to display only a specific step or range of steps of a larger publication. So instead of cloning a larger project and splitting those steps, it is now possible to generate a URL. It is possible to specify those steps in the URL string with hashtag parameters. Let's check this out. And I will use a different project this time. So that's the one. Now, there is a new publish option called generate step list file. What it does, it generates very simple text file with internal identifiers of those steps that we have in the procedure. We then use those identifiers to create that URL string. So I will enable this option, and let's publish this now. Okay. Now I will just open this file right away, and here we obviously have a complete procedure. So let's I display just a specific step. Now this is the text file that was created for us, and let's say we want only step 5 and step 6. So I copy this identifier to the address bar of my browser, hashtag, identifier, comma, and then the last step that I want to be displayed. Reload. And here we got just those 2 steps, not only in the document, but also in 3D view as well. This feature works with all RapidManual specifications, but publish option, the new publish option generates the step list file is currently only available for DITA task specifications, but you can find identifiers of your steps in other specifications such as S1000D or rapid walk instructions just by enabling text view and going to the step element. That's the identifier that you're looking for. So you can still find those identifiers. Okay, next. Rapid walk instruction specification now supports video and audio files that you can insert into your document, supplement your steps. This was previously available in DITA and S1000D. Now Rapid Walk Instructions also does that. Sample project in Rapid Walk Instructions. So I just right-click context sensitive, right-click context menu, insert multimedia object. This is what we're looking for. And sample video or audio file. Let's publish this. And here it is, video file. That's a video. Very straightforward. Next, not that major feature, but still, in Rapid Catalog and Rapid Illustrator, we changed the name of our intermediate pages. They are now called hidden, and now they can be inserted anywhere in the structure of your pages. And if those hidden pages are sitting isolated, meaning that there is no page beneath a hidden page, then that page will not go into your HTML or publication in general, and you can use that isolated hidden page as a container for your temporary data or work in progress data. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this intermediate or hidden pages, they are primarily intended to create smooth and complex transitions when a user transits in HTML output between 2 pages. So you can create intermediate viewpoint, for example, when user transits between pages. There's also now an autosave feature. Whenever you have a PowerCard or RapidAuthor crashes for some reason, there is now an automatic save operation which takes place every X number of minutes, depending on what you have specified in your settings. If there is a crash when you subsequently try to open the same project, you will be given an option to either restore that project from the last autosave state or to discard it. We also added user interface commands for saving and loading settings, and this includes all possible kind of settings and options, including publish options, screen layout, and general options. And they are tied to a specific RapidAuthor application. So, for instance, if you save your RapidManual settings, this will include just obviously settings for RapidManual and for all your publish options for RapidManual specifications, for example. And also quite similar to that, to the previous point, it's now possible to import and export user-defined colors in material editor via UI commands. Previously, that was possible by exchanging a system file, and now there is a dedicated user interface command for doing that. Let's now proceed to the next subject, which is DITA authoring. There are a lot of DITA authoring changes in this release. First, in Rapid Text, you will find a new specification called DITA map. With it, you don't actually create any content. Instead, it can be used to create a structure of a publication that includes or references other DITA projects or DITA topics, for example. What you can see here on the right is the kind of HTML output that you can get. So it's a single publication consisting of other publications. PDF is also supported. Now let's have a look what you can do here with this functionality. Now for that I need Rapid Text and DITA map specification. Now first I just need to generate a blank document, and using provided user interface icons here, I can insert references to my DITA projects or DITA topics, however you call them. So let's take some cover page, then also a procedural publication. There is a way to create a quite complex structure, so some publications can be sitting inside another one, so you can create a complex arrangement of your DITA map publication. Finally, parts catalog also here. And let's preview this or publish. That's our HTML output, cover page, procedural publication, and parts catalog also. There is simple search functionality that's still quite useful if you want to search for some specific text. That's a number of times text is mentioned here, also highlighted. Currently, as of release 13.1, this functionality is, this specification is only available locally, so you can create this single publications in standalone mode. It is not yet supported with Teamcenter integration. However, there is another new feature that allows you to create similar looking publication, DITA publication. But I will talk about that in a few minutes. And first, also there are a number of new DITA topic schemas that you will find in Rapid Text. They are to do with learning related. They're learning related schemas that you can see here. Now, the most interesting one is learning assessment topic, with which, as you can see here on the right, you can create interactive course with various types of questions, a single correct or wrong answer, multiple choice sequencing, matching questions, and so on. Let's have a look. That's also Rapid Text. So DITA topic, and before generating a document, I go to my metadata window and set here a type of schema that I need. So learning assessment is one of them. Now let's generate a document. This is the template that you can use if you enter text mode. You can start inserting your questions right away. So it's just a blank structure. I will show you how this looks in the HTML output a bit later. It will make sense then. Okay. Next, just like DITA map specification, the new one, there is also a new DITA learning map, which is very similar to DITA map, but this one is primarily intended for various learning related publications or topics. It also supports HTML, PDF, and SCORM output formats, which you can then use in LMS system, learning management system. This specification is available in standalone mode. I will show you right now that, but there is also a separate way to create this kind of publications under Teamcenter in Rich Client, which I will also show you in a second. But first, let's look at this. How you go about creating this in standalone mode. DITA learning map. DITA learning map specification, document generate. It's a very similar interface to DITA map specification. Here you just reference other topics or publications, and they must be in DITA, of course. So I will grab this one. It's just some introduction into the learning course and my questions from here. And let's publish this. Some introductory text, and that's our questions. So there is your end user would navigate using the provided user interface commands. So false answer, submit, incorrect. So each type of question has its different layout, user interface, etc. So that's the essence of a DITA learning map specification. Now, as I said, there is also a way, unlike with DITA map, to create this learning publication with Teamcenter integration, and this is what I will show you right now. Okay, so that's Teamcenter 13. That's a Cartoon 3D technical publications application. I already have a demo object here, but if you're wondering how to create those in the first place, it's all here under very familiar selection, where you select the object type, DITA learning map. So in the technical publications view, instead of importing and exporting any geometry, instead you are copying and pasting here previously created DITA learning topics. And once you are done, you are then performing a regular import update operation that will immediately create the output, which I will not do right now because it will take several minutes. So instead, this is what you will see when you're done with this, with import. This is exactly the same type of output in the end. So some topics included inside. So depending on whether you use standalone mode or Teamcenter integration, you can equally use this new specification. Next, in standalone mode specifically, for DITA specifications, we added so-called key-based content reference feature, which allows you to reuse elements from other projects stored in the same working space. This could be images, text, as you can see here, pretty much anything. This feature was previously available, and it was available for a very long time only with Teamcenter integration. Now we added, we enhanced this feature. Now you can reuse content from local projects. Let's check this out. That's Rapid Text. I have here a project with a library of content, some images, texts, and I will then reuse these bits in my other DITA projects in RapidManual, for example. So first, to reuse an element, you first need to create the same kind of element here in the document editor. In this case, I will use already created image element, which I have, Control Z. So I'm just standing inside image element, as you can see here. And this is the command that I need: insert key-based content reference. A list of all projects inside my current working space. And this is the one that I need, content for reuse. That's the Rapid Text project. And these are all the images within that project, which I can now reuse. And this works with pretty much anything, as long as it has an identifier assigned to it. So I can also reuse text, for example. So I'm standing inside the B element, and this way, and this time I will only see texts, bold texts, like so. So now I can publish this project. If you're wondering what will happen with update, if I update something here, resources that I used here, in order to see those changes in the second project, you need to open it or reopen it and to republish that. Upon republish or upon opening, you will see updated image or updated text here. Okay, so that's key-based content reference. And also there is another new feature, very similar, but not quite really. So with this one, instead of referencing something inside other RapidAuthor project, you can instead use resources stored in Teamcenter directly, and this could be basically any multimedia resource, such as image, video, audio, for example. And this is specific for Teamcenter integration. So now let's check this. Now here I have a few multimedia resources already loaded. Now I will open RapidManual DITA task project, and we will try to add those resources inside this project. There are some of them already here. It's also one of the UI icons that you can use here, insert multimedia. This is what we use in this case. So I can specify the type of resource and perform search in my Teamcenter. These are all the files. So let's grab this video file and insert it in the document. I suppose this is the one. So this is the essence of this feature. If you're wondering whether this is possible in standalone mode, yes, in DITA you can insert video or any multimedia file directly from your file system. So this feature is specifically for Teamcenter. Okay. Next. And finally, the last DITA-related new feature is a special new publishing tool that is available in the content management system of Teamcenter that allows you to create interactive HTML publications, just like you have seen it with DITA map specification. But this one is created with content management means. So you first need to distribute RapidAuthor DITA topics to content management and then publish them using this new tool. In the end, you will get this kind of output. Let's also have a look, although I will not go through the entire sequence as it will take quite a lot of time. So I already have here a demo. That's a DITA dynamic map publication consisting of various topics that originated from our Cartoon 3D DITA items. This is the tool that I am talking about, publishing tool called DITA Cartoon 3D Publishing Tool that allows you to create those interactive HTML publications. So once you publish that, once publishing is done by Teamcenter, you will find the dataset here, which you can download. Once you do that, this is the one in this case, you can open it either using a web browser or, as we learned, with the new RapidAuthor Viewer. So it looks, I would say, exactly as DITA map output, but created with CMS. instead of RapidAuthor natively. Okay. Next, let's have a look at new features in our Cortana 2 DITA Pro. Note that the version sequence for this application is a bit different, so it's version 6.1. And the first one on the list is a new pick points tool. With it, you can manipulate control points that belong to different objects at the same time simultaneously. You couldn't do this without this tool. So I will show you a good example where you can use this new feature. So suppose I want to extrude this part upwards. I could do this manually by dragging different shapes individually. Now it is much easier to do this with this new tool. So first I select the corresponding objects and go to pick points tool mode like this. Now we see all the control points, and this time I just select those that I need. Now I can use either my mouse pointer to manipulate them at once like this, but obviously I won't do this. Instead, I will use the transformations window for very precise manipulation. So in this case, I want to shift them upwards like this. So that's done in a matter of a couple of seconds. Next, a new tool, also offset path tool, with which you can create parallel objects. And this is particularly useful when you're creating objects from scratch, especially various cables. Okay, suppose we have here a cable already. Suppose we want to create a new one. Just random, like this. Now, if you try to do a copy paste of that object, that won't work. As you see here, offset, a proper offset needs to be taken into account. And it is in this case that when you can use this new tool. So you select an object and go to Object, Offset Path, and specify the offset interval like this. Now select the original object and create a figure out of them like this. Now this is almost perfect cable that we created manually. Now we can of course manipulate and change control points, but we already did the bulk of this almost immediately. Next, we also implemented an advanced search in 2D editor. You can use a combination of several criteria to find objects that you need. So it's available under Edit menu, Advanced Find here. So let's look at a few basic examples. So let's suppose that I want to find all field figures with a specific color, light gray. This is the one. All texts containing 25, that's a callout being returned as a found object, and also a very convenient option to find objects by their width and height. Exactly, approximately, with some tolerance, more than 10. And that's the only object that we got here. You can use combination of these search criteria to find what you need. Now, we also support arithmetic expressions in most user interface windows, and most importantly, you can use property inspector and transformation tabs for that. So these are the supported operators, which are quite common, and symbols for units also. Let me demonstrate when you can use it. So I select an object and go to property inspector. Length of 1.4 centimeters. So suppose I want to increase the length by 25% immediately. So I just write plus 25% and hit enter on my keyboard. That's 25 minus 50. Now I can also use specific units. Let's say I want 10 millimeters plus 10 millimeters, like this, or minus 1 centimeter, like this. This also works with angles and points, as you've seen on the slide, or degrees, for example. So pretty much any numerical value can be is supported here. And finally, very simple new feature, that's a balloon object that you will find in the object gallery. With it, you can create various insets. What is so special about this object is that there are a number of control points, which allows you to very quickly manipulate this balloon object. So, object gallery, balloon. These are the control points. Decrease radius of corners. And let's grab some objects from other image. Let me find it first. Here. Control C, and I will paste it here. And change order, send to back, like so. Finally, just like in RapidAuthor, there is also now an Autosave feature and UI commands that allow you to save and load settings for Cortana 2D Editor Pro specifically. Now, the next subject of data import. With this release, we added support of new versions of familiar card formats. So you can see here on the screen. Just like before, if you are using RapidAuthor for Teamcenter, then you need Rapid Data Converter for Teamcenter to be able to import these and other formats, or yeah, that's right. Okay, next subject, Rapid Developer, and specifically Rapid Configuration Application. As you may know, there is a way to reassign colors of objects, of 3D objects within RapidAuthor. Now you can override colors via import profile. If for some reason changing colors in RapidAuthor doesn't suit you, so this can be done upon import. Also, if you are dealing with JT files and importing them via RapidJT component, we can now read levels of details that are stored within JT files and use them instead of generating our representations. In some cases, can reduce the time it takes to input geometry, but this is not universal. It depends on some many factors, let's say. Also, buffer metadata rules are now optional, meaning that you can map metadata objects from your source data to RapidAuthor project metadata directly. There is no need to extract them to buffer first and then use them. You will also find various user interface improvements, such as ability to restore input profile settings to default values. Default values meaning settings that you will find in standard input profiles, and also in various windows that involve item tree structures. There is a simple search functionality if you would like to search for a specific item within Rapid configuration. There are other improvements and features in Rapid configuration that I haven't mentioned here, but you will find them in our release notes. Now, next subject, integration with Teamcenter and specifically with Active Workspace. I have shown you new features in Rich Client. So that's DITA learning map support. That's also reuse of multimedia objects and DITA publishing tool in CMS. Here, let's see the things we added for Active Workspace specifically. So there is now a support of single sign-on, meaning that there is no need to perform to go through authorization separately when you open RapidAuthor project for editing or for input. And also we added a distribute command, which distributes RapidAuthor content to content management system of Teamcenter. So that's for Active Workspace. Please note that we are going to release a patch for version 13.1, which is expected on the 19th of March. It will include various fixes and improvements that you see on this screen here. And finally, starting with the next version, which is version 14, expected this summer, we will see support of plugin-based HTML publication. HTML5 or non-plugin publications will be the only kind of HTML produced with RapidAuthor, meaning you will not see any publish options that allow you to create plugin-based publications. And secondly, plugin-free publications will not support Internet Explorer, so consider using other modern HTML5 browsers. You will find a full list of new features and changes on our website under support and release notes section. Some of the features are also available on our YouTube channel. So these videos show you how to use functionality and when it can be helpful to you. These things are documented. As you may know, we have PDF documentation as well as embedded documentation, part of every application, every Cartoon 3D application. If you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer them, and my colleagues as well. So please post them in the Q&A window. Thank you. We will give another couple of minutes for questions. You can, of course, send your questions to our email support@cartona3d.com.
George, we have a new question in the new section. Are all functions also available in the Teamcenter Active Workspace?
Under Active Workspace, in this release, we only have a single sign-on logic being implemented, and also distribute operation, distribute command added. These are the new things for Active Workspace specifically. The things that I have shown in Rich Client are only available in Rich Client.
We also have a question about customization of PDF publications. I would suggest that you can you will send us requests to support, and we will provide you with the links to the documentation or extra information.
Hello everyone, we have a question regarding what functions are available in Active Workspace. I'm already answered, but for all of you. So now in Active Workspace you are able to import, update and edit content for our RapidAuthor content. In Active Workspace you can create generic cartoon items and DITA related items, and full management for S1000D items will be available in coming releases. So now you are able to edit, but not to create in Active Workspace. Still, all the authoring parts that related to Cartoon 3D Administrator still are in Rich Client.
I can see question, will there also be a plugin in CAD tools like an Solid Edge? I'm afraid it's not quite clear what you mean by that. Could you be more specific, please? I suppose there are no more questions, so thank you for joining. I hope you found these new features relevant and interesting. Thank you and have a good day. Goodbye.